Hi, my name is Jamie, and I wanted to give you a rundown of the cost of goods sold and shipping setup in Profit Calc, as I know it can be a little overwhelming as we have quite a few options on the left here. Before I dive in, I also want to say that if you have any questions about the setup, you're not really sure on which one to use, just hit this bottom right here and go to ask and shoot me a message. It's me right there, and I'd be happy to help you get set up. So to start with the COGS and shipping costs, it's going to help if you know how they're calculated for your store. And then from there, you can use one of the many options Profit Calc has. So if I expand these here, overall, there are quite a few different types of fees and COGS you can add. If you're using drop shipping such as AliExpress, CJ, Printful, Printify, and ShipHero, these are a little more straightforward to set up, as you're basically going to click in here and then follow the instructions. Typically, it requires you to enter in an API key. The same follows for Printful as well, so you just want to sign in here and it's going to help you get set up. Now, if you don't use one of these dropshipping options, Profit Calc has you covered as well. So for most merchants, the manual COGS option can work easily for you. And so what this option is it's going to break down all your products and product variants one by one here, showing the product name, the variant name. This is informational, the product price. Then it's going to have the COGS you can set up, and these are additional other per product costs. So here you can enter in each variant's cost of goods sold, and so it's going to be calculated based on the quantity included in each order. Let's say, for example, there are two 25 centimeter gold feather bracelets. It's going to multiply this cost of goods sold by 2 in the order calculations. Now to note, the product price is hidden by default. We can enable this on the general settings page here. And if we scroll down just a little bit further under additional COGS settings, we can see display product prices on the manual COGS page setting is here. And so with the manual COGS, there are also options to sync in your cost per item from Shopify. You can update it with a CSV file. You can update them all by a percentage of revenue. You can also update them by product name. Let's say you have a product with 50 variants or something like that. It's often faster just to use this option here, as it lets you select the name and just update the COGS for all the variants at once. And so that's the manual COGS. Next up, our app has several options if the cost of goods sold change by the country the order was shipped to or the quantity as well. So one of the best options for this is the COGS by country and quantity. And to note, let's say it doesn't change based on the country specifically, you could set this to worldwide and it's going to apply to any country. So this option is called the cost of goods sold by country and quantity and is one of the more popular options for setting up quantity breaks. And you can set it up based on the product name overall. So it's going to apply to any mix and match of the variants under the product name. And that's going to trigger the quantity break. Let's say for this braided necklace here, there's both a black and silver variant. And in order, if both a black and silver one are included, it would count as a quantity of 2. And so you could set up this cost of goods sold accordingly. For the product variant option, it's going to show all your specific variants, and the quantity break is going to be triggered only if there are multiple of the same variant order. So going back to our previous example for the braided necklace, the quantity break would only be triggered if there are, let's say, 2 black braided necklaces ordered. And so following this option here, there are different variations of a similar calculation. You have the cost of goods sold by country. Let's say you don't have any quantity breaks. We can set up the cost of goods sold based on the product name and the country here. We also have cost of goods sold by quantity. So if you're just using quantity breaks here and the country doesn't impact the calculation, you could use this option. To note that for the quantity breaks here, each variant is considered a separate item in the quantity of an order. And so if the quantity break applies to a mix and match of different variants, you should use the COGS by country that we first looked at and select the option worldwide. Next up, we have the cost of goods sold by date. So let's say you get a spreadsheet from your supplier or distributor that just totals the cost of goods sold for each day. You can enter it in on this page here. So that's quite a few options for cost of goods sold. Again, if you have any questions, just message me here in the bottom right. So let's move on to shipping costs. If you know how your shipping costs are calculated, you can select the corresponding option. So our app has several options here. The first one is going to be shipping bundles. So let's say you have shipping costs that are created based on the products in an order. So let's say you have one braided necklace and one silver ring gold. This triggers based on Belgium. We can enter the shipping cost for this bundle. And so these will need to be created for each bundle. From there, you can also set up shipping costs by country. So let's say you have a fixed fee of $5 for every order shipped to Australia. You could enter this here on a per product basis. So let's say there are 2 products in an order or 2 times the quantity. It would be multiplied by that. So if there are 2 products, 2 times 5 is 10. and that would be the shipping cost by country included. Or if it's a flat rate for the order, no matter the number of products, you can enter in it under per order cost. There are also other options such as the shipping cost by country and quantity. So you could enter in the country name, the quantity in an order, and the total cost. Lastly, we have the shipping method fees. So let's say you have a fixed fee based on the shipping title that a customer selects. You could enter this in here. So overall, there are quite a few options here for the cost of goods sold and shipping costs. And it's really just going to depend on how your store calculates both of those. So hopefully this helped give you an overall tutorial. And again, any questions, just message me and I'd be happy to help you get set up.